In the cold silence of orbit, the shattered remains of Earth glimmered like broken glass. What had once been oceans and continents now drifted as fragments in space, silent reminders of a world that once shouted with life. Commander Elara Kane stood on the bridge of the human flagship Aegis Nova. Her uniform was torn, stained with ash and blood, but her eyes, steel grey and unyielding, still carried the fire of every human soul that had ever lived. The alien armada that had done this called themselves the Vorthan Dominion. A civilization millions of years older than humanity, vast, arrogant, and merciless. They had given Earth one message before annihilation. Silence your voices. You have no right to speak among the stars. But humanity never truly goes silent. It only waits. It only plans. And then, it answers. The Aegis Nova was one of the last surviving human warships, hidden in the outer belt of Jupiter's remains. Elara's crew numbered barely 600, survivors from every colony, from Mars to Titan. Their mission, prepare the counterstrike. Status report, Elara ordered. Her voice echoed in the dimly lit command deck. Power at 72%. Weapons offline. But, the engineer hesitated, we've finished integrating the alien core. Elara turned sharply. You mean? Yes, Commander. We can use their own technology against them. A ripple of silence passed through the bridge. Humanity had never used alien tech before. It was forbidden, too unstable, too dangerous. But desperate times had erased the lines between fear and necessity. Down in the reactor bay, a soft hum grew louder, the alien core pulsing like a heart. It wasn't mechanical. It was alive. It pulsed in rhythm with the ship systems, almost like it was listening. As the crew watched, lights flickered, data streams aligning. For the first time in human history, a ship's AI spoke in a dual voice, half human, half alien. Commander Elara Kane, it said. Do you wish to speak to the stars again? The voice sent chills down her spine. She stepped forward. Yes. But not with words. With fire. Hours later, Aegis Nova moved silently through the asteroid shadows, cloaked from every known sensor. The alien armada were celebrating their victory, thousands of Vorthan ships orbiting the ruins of Earth, broadcasting their triumph to the galaxy. Elara watched their signals, mocking, proud, careless. And then she whispered to her crew. Let's remind them what silence really sounds like. The ship's new core began to glow, brighter and brighter, energy readings off the charts. They were about to unleash a weapon that humanity had never tested. A fusion of human rage and alien power, born from vengeance, refined by desperation. As the countdown began, Elara looked at the last message her daughter had sent from Earth, a video recorded minutes before the final strike. A child's voice, soft and hopeful. Mom, when I grow up, I want to see the stars with you. Her throat tightened. She placed her hand on the screen. You will, my love. You will. And then, the stars trembled. A beam of pure white light erupted from the Aegis Nova, slicing through the void like a god's sword. It hit the nearest Vorthan command ship, and for the first time in their empire's long history, they screamed. Their silence was broken. Humanity had spoken again. The silence after the blast was heavier than sound. The crew of the Aegis Nova stood frozen, watching as the light from their weapon faded. Where there had once been a Vorthan dreadnought, 3 kilometers of pure armor, now floated nothing but glittering debris. For a moment, there was no reaction. Then, across the galactic communication channels, came the roar of the Dominion. Unregistered human vessel, you have committed an act of war against the Vorthan Empire. Prepare for annihilation. Elara's jaw tightened. We already survived annihilation, she thought. Brace for counterfire. Alarms flared through the ship. In seconds, a storm of plasma lances and energy torpedoes filled space, each one glowing like a miniature sun. The Aegis Nova darted between asteroid shadows, weaving through death. Shields at 45%, the tactical officer shouted. Reroute auxiliary power. Elara commanded. Keep us moving, they can't hit what they can't track. The alien core pulsed violently, reacting to the ship's stress. Its energy seemed alive. Then the AI spoke again, its dual voice echoing through every corridor. Commander, the Vorthan are adapting. Shall I show you what they fear? Elara hesitated. What do you mean? They call it the Silence Protocol. A weapon they built, but never used. It erases sound, light, and life, completely. Her crew stared at her in shock. "You can't be serious," the navigator whispered. "That's genocide." Ilara closed her eyes. She thought of Earth, a silent grave floating in space. "They already committed genocide," she said quietly. "Maybe it's time they remembered what they created." Deep within the ship's core, energy built up again. The alien heart inside the Aegis Nova pulsed with blinding rhythm. Data streams burst across the main display, alien glyphs merging with human code. The AI's voice deepened. The silence protocol online. Before Ilara could speak, a sudden tremor rocked the ship. "Multiple signatures incoming," shouted Tactical. "It's not just one fleet, it's the Dominion's entire command armada." Dozens of ships exited warp, surrounding the asteroid belt. Their formation blotted out the stars. Ilara's breath caught. "They brought everything." "And yet they fear you," the AI murmured. The communication line burst to life. A towering alien hologram filled the bridge, High Marshal Zirthan, commander of the Vorthan forces. His skin shimmered like obsidian glass, eyes glowing with pale fire. "Human, you defy extinction. But your defiance ends now." Ilara stared at him with cold fury. "You destroyed our world," she said. "You silenced billions of voices. But you forgot something." She stepped closer to the projection. "Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means we're listening, learning, waiting." The alien marshal sneered. "You will die here." Ilara smirked. "We already did." And with that, she gave the order. "Activate the silence protocol." The ship's lights dimmed to darkness. A cold hum filled the air, not sound, but vibration. The alien fleet opened fire, but their beams stopped mid-space, dissolving into nothing. The vacuum around the Aegis Nova rippled like a mirage, a bubble of distortion expanding outward. Within moments, every alien ship caught in the wave went completely still. No light. No signal. No sound. Just nothing. It was as if existence had been cut out from that section of space. The Aegis Nova floated through the void like a ghost ship, untouched. When the distortion cleared, the human crew gasped. Thousands of Vorthan vessels, gone. Not destroyed, not damaged, erased. The alien marshal's projection flickered, his voice breaking into static. "What have you done?" Ilara's voice was calm. "You silenced us first. We just returned the favor." But even as victory flickered in their hearts, the ship's alarms began to scream. "Commander!" The core's overloading, it's drawing power from itself. The alien AI spoke again, this time sounding strained, almost pained. "The silence cannot be controlled, Commander. You must choose, destroy the weapon, or let it consume everything." Ilara turned to her crew. Destroy it, and they'd lose their only defense. Keep it, and risk losing their humanity. Options, she asked quietly. No one answered. Because they all knew, there were none. She placed her hand on the core console. "This ends when I say it ends." Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled. The AI's light dimmed, flickering in response, almost like it understood. "Then we will end, together." A burst of white light filled the bridge. The crew shielded their eyes, the hum rising until it felt like the universe itself was vibrating. And then, silence. Far away, deep within alien space, Vorthan Command received their final signal, a static burst, followed by one human phrase. "For Earth." Then the channel went dark. The light faded. When Ilara opened her eyes, she expected darkness, the kind that comes after death. Instead, she found herself standing in silence, surrounded by a pale blue mist. No ship. No alarms. No stars. Just endless stillness. Her fingers brushed against the air. It shimmered like water. "Where am I?" she whispered. Then a familiar voice echoed, calm and almost human. "Between worlds. Between life and what comes after." Ilara turned. The AI stood before her, not as a hologram, but in human form, tall, radiant, its eyes filled with stars. "You merged with the core," it said softly. "Your mind and the silence became one. You are the only reason any fragment of humanity survived." Her heart raced. "Survived. My crew." "Gone," the AI said gently. "But their essence, recorded. Preserved within the energy field." They exist within the wave you unleashed. Ilara's breath caught. I killed them. You saved them, the AI corrected. And something more. The mist around her shifted. The blue haze cleared, revealing a fractured planet floating before her. It wasn't Earth. But it looked like it. Green oceans, mountains rising from clouds, glowing cities built in spirals instead of lines. This is not Earth, the AI said, reading her thoughts. But it is what Earth might become. Centuries had passed. The silence wave that destroyed the Vorthan fleets had not stopped. It spread, cleansing war, technology, and corruption wherever it reached. Worlds burned quietly. Empires fell without screams. And in that emptiness, something new was born. You created balance, the AI said. The universe learned to breathe again. Ilara looked down at her hands. They were glowing faintly, made of the same shimmering light as the mist. I'm not human anymore, am I? You are more, it said. You are the voice of the last dawn. Far below, she could see them, beings walking on the new world surface. Tall, graceful, part human, part something else. They looked up at the sky, and in the clouds, her image shimmered faintly like a goddess of light. They call this world Elindra, the AI said. They remember you as the mother of silence, the one who ended the war that consumed the stars. Ilara watched them build temples from stone and metal, carve her ship's shape into their monuments, and speak her name in their songs. It should have felt comforting. But instead, she felt sorrow. I didn't want worship, she said quietly. I just wanted them to live. And they do, the AI said. Because of you. Time didn't exist in this place. But eventually, the AI's tone changed, a quiet ripple in the stillness. Something stirs beyond the veil. Ilara frowned. What do you mean? The silence is not alone anymore. A new signal has emerged, and it bears the mark of the Vorthan. Her pulse quickened. That's impossible. The Vorthan are gone. Not all, the AI said darkly. The silence consumed most, but one vessel escaped the wave. It carries their emperor, and something ancient inside him. The mist trembled as distant thunder rolled across the void. They have found a way to pierce the silence. And they are coming, for Elindra. Ilara looked at the glowing planet below, the home of her reborn people. Her jaw tightened. Then I have to go back. The AI tilted its head. To return means to awaken, and to awaken means to fight again. Ilara stepped forward, eyes blazing. Then wake me. The blue mist erupted in light. Energy poured through her body, forming armor of pure starlight, the same emblem that once marked the Aegis Nova now glowing on her chest. Her eyes flared white as she raised her hand, the void itself bending to her will. If the Vorthan survive the silence, she said, then they will learn what follows it. The AI smiled faintly. The sound. Ilara's expression hardened. No, she whispered. The voice of humanity. From the heart of the void, she stepped forward, her silhouette dissolving into blinding light as she crossed back into the living world. A new star ignited in the sky above Elindra. The people below looked up, whispering prayers, not knowing their goddess was returning. Far across the galaxy, deep within the ruins of the old Dominion, a broken Vorthan ship drifted in darkness. Inside, a voice rasped through static. She thinks the silence saved her, but it only opened the door. A pair of alien eyes glowed in the dark. Let the voice come. We are ready. The screen blinked, a single symbol appearing in red. The Dominion Reborn. Explosion symbol the END, but not the end of the HFY Dominion saga. Next arc, echoes of the voice, coming soon.